Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing our August wrap up and our September wrap up. Also, if you guys see me in the same outfit in the next video, it's because I'm recording them back to back just so I can get some more content out to you all. We're gonna start with August. So in August I read 8 books, I had 1 arc, and I read 4,864 pages, and I also listened to 1 audiobook that month. I read and finished the Zodiac Academy this month. So I read Zodiac Academy Star 1 Starlight, which I gave 5 stars, devoured, and then I read Restless Stars and I gave that one a 5 stars as well, and that's part of the Zodiac Academy. That whole series as a whole is a 10-star series for me, and I don't think I've ever said that for a series. This series, it was emotional. It put you through the ringer. You couldn't guess one thing that was happening. I think maybe I only guessed one thing. Then I was still questioning if I was right or wrong. That whole series, I believe everyone needs to read it. Obviously you guys seen on my page, I made a whole vlog just dedicated to that series, and I feel like it still didn't do that series justice the way that I wanted it to do. I can't wait to reread it. I already want to reread it, so that's telling you how great of a series that was. Then I listened to Fourth Wings, which is one of my other favorite series. How convenient. I was obviously starting off the month with a bang, and I started listening to Fourth Wing because I was listening to it while I was running that month. It just went well. I had no complaints about it. I really loved the audio. I think it did it justice. Then I went into a different series, Psycho Shifter, Psycho Fae, and Psycho East, and I ended up giving the first 2 books in that series 4 stars and the last book 3 stars. This is following the Beast Realm, where basically they have alpha, omegas, and betas, and in this world it's called the Beast Realm. Sadie is the first alpha female there, so they're shocked because they've never heard of this, so they're very confused. She ends up going to the front of the line, so where the war is at, because they're at war with the Fae Queen. She's having to learn all these little things about her. She's never shifted before, so she doesn't know what she's gonna shift into. She's very out of her league. And then you have these 3 alpha males who are kind of like, is she a spy? Like, what is she really doing here? And so it goes on from there. It gets more intense as it goes, and it is a reverse harem, and I really enjoyed the series. I wish kind of there was more to it. Then I read Broken Pact by Penelope Black, which was my arc, and I gave that one 4 stars. It's an MC romance, second chance romance, and it was just a decent read. I really liked it. It's small town. It just gave everything that an MC romance kind of gives with this other aspect. Basically, he pretends to be her fake boyfriend again to keep her ex away, but she finds herself in this little bit of trouble, doesn't know kind of like how it came to that, but she doesn't want anybody else to know, and she kind of eventually, Starlight ends up leaning on Jagger a lot, but not really telling him exactly what's going on. So we're kind of seeing Jagger get very protective in this, trying to help her understand where he's coming from and how like this isn't really fake dating to him. He really wants something serious with her, and he doesn't know like what drove her to kind of just leave him in the dust. So we're slowly finding all of that out while reading as well. Then I read Reckless by Lauren Roberts this month as well, and I gave that one 4.5 stars. I love Kai, I love Peyton, I love that whole world, and I guessed the ending, so that's why I gave it 4.5 stars. I didn't want it to end. I just felt like it did drag a little bit with the back and forth between them. I'm kind of nervous to see how the next book is going to go. If you haven't read it, go read it, because it's going to leave you with your mouth on the floor, kind of like you knew what's coming, but like how? That's kind of just what reminds that, because by the end you're kind of seeing the deep relationship build between Kai and Peyton, and they're finally opening up to one another, I guess you can say. It just makes your heart really hurt at the end, because throughout it they're saying they don't care about each other, and they keep doing all these things to each other, and they have multiple chances to kill one another, but none of them goes that step, and it just shows how much they truly care about one another. So when that ending kind of just punches you, even though you know it's coming, it just punches you, you're kind of just like what the did I just read? Like, why? Kind of, so I'm definitely looking for book number 3 for that one, because I'm definitely gonna need to read that ASAP. Those were all the books that I read in August. Now to September, I read 10 books, 3 arcs, and I read 712 pages. I read The Royals Next Door, which actually I really enjoyed. It didn't know if I was gonna enjoy it, but I really did end up enjoying it, and I gave this one 4 stars. The Royals end up moving next door to her, and she kind of has this romance with their guard, Bahrd, even though the royals kind of asked her not to, but she still kind of goes ahead with it, and kind of they just start sneaking around a little bit. So I really like this one. I don't know why, but I knew I needed to read it at the beginning of this month or I wasn't gonna read it at all. Then I read The Natural and then Killer Instincts, and wow, when they say this is YA of Criminal Minds, they were not kidding. I was invested, even though I feel like you can guess a lot of what's gonna happen. I'm still invested. I'm loving the characters, just really enjoying where it's all going. So I only have the first 2 books. I haven't read the last 2 books, but I'm definitely going to be getting to them hopefully sometime soon. But I really enjoy these. I gave it both books 4.5 stars. Then obviously I read Legendborn this month, which 4.5 stars. Absolutely devoured, loved it, loved the whole concept of the book, loved how we truly get to know Brianna and what she's dealing with and how being a colored person in the South truly is and things like that, and you know, dealing with mental health and general curses and trauma and trying to overcome that. I really love the way that Tracy represented everything in this book, and I can't wait to keep reading what this world's gonna bring us in Bloodmark, so I cannot wait for that, and 4.5 stars for me. Then I read Goldsin by Aveline Knight, and I gave 5 stars. This is a dark romance. Aurelia, I believe that's how, I feel like I'm butchering that, and Julian we're following in Goldensin, and she is trying to get revenge for her mother. These elite, higher up, well-known, wealthy men pushed her mother to the brink of killing herself when she was just a baby, I want to say. So we're following her go through that, and it gets very dark. She is willing to do anything to get revenge for her mother, and that includes killing. In the first chapter, it's very detailed what she does, and I absolutely devoured it. Julian is her best friend, but also her ex-boyfriend's brother. They kind of just grew apart over the years, and they haven't really paid attention or talked to each other in 10 years until now. So it gets very intense. There's just a lot of loss in this book, I want to say, but it was really good, and I did not see the ending the way that it ended, and that's why I ended up giving it 5 stars, because that ending, cannot wait for the next book. Then I read Feathers by Olivia Wildenstein, and I gave this one 3.5 stars. This is an angel fantasy, I guess you can say, but we're following angels, and in this one we are following Lay and Gerard. She basically takes on Gerard, and in this world they need to earn their feathers for their wings. She only has like 80 something feathers to get, and she wants to get these 80 something feathers so that she can be a possibility to marry a celestial. And so now she needs to have Gerard do one kind act that he truly means to be able to gain all the feathers that she needs, because he is a triple, so he is like a sinner, like the highest that a sinner can get. She needs to try to convince him to do that, and then she'll end up getting 100 feathers. She'll go over the feathers that she needs. But as it goes on, she slowly starts falling for him and seeing things and not understanding why his count isn't going down. So he obviously must have done something truly bad for it to not be able to go down, right? So we're slowly seeing this romance build, and it really does get better, but I wish we got to get more of them together, if that makes any sense. Then I read Irene Vacancy by Irene Bahrd. Sorry, I feel like I butchered that, but this literally, she's so sweet. Look at that. I got this as a PR package, and absolutely, I really did like this book. I think I gave it 3.5 stars, and I'm just gonna read the back because it's hard to explain. In Washington, where everything is at stake, no one's hands are clean and nothing is ever as it seems. Jacqueline Taylor's life is curated to absolute perfection. Despite having secret political ambitions of her own, the only way the Washington darling will have a seat at the table is on the arm of a senator, vice president, or if she plays her cards right, as the wife of the next president of the United States. Engaged to presidential hopeful Christopher Blake, everything is falling into place for Jacqueline until he doesn't show up on their wedding day. Forced to enter, postpone, or cancel the wedding, his twin brother offers to take Christopher's place for the day, helping her save face and maintain her loveless arrangement. Temporary and charade, smoke and mirrors. Except for Alexander Blake, nothing about standing in for his missing brother is pretend. Even through the lies and deceit, he finds himself falling for the one woman he shouldn't. But when Christopher reappears, ready to claim his place as Jacqueline's husband, Jacqueline and Alexander face the difficult choice between love and Politics. This book was really good. I've never read a political romance like this, and this blew it out the park for me. Like, I can't wait to get the second book in the series, because I believe the second book in the series is going to be following Jacqueline's best friend. I'm excited for that. Then I read Guarded by the Marshals, and I gave this one 2 stars. Just wasn't a fan of it. There was a lot of things that made me ick in it. More the female character, because she's in this situation where she's put into WIDSEC because she ends up going into this cult without knowing. So she ends up getting kidnapped by someone she thought was a friend, going through something very traumatic that no one should ever go through. Okay, then comes the Marshal, who was there to take her into WIDSEC, but something happens where she's recalled to trial and she cannot go into WIDSEC right away. They kind of build, over this week, they build this very deep relationship. She wants to go farther. He kind of wants it to go slow because of what she's been through. And she kind of keeps pushing and not Sorry, which because my camera overheated, so here we are. So she wants to push farther. He wants to take things slower because she's obviously been through something very traumatic, and then she gets upset about it, and it's kind of like a back and forth the whole way. You'd think somebody who'd been through her situation be more cautious and kind of like scared, and here it's kind of, she just whined a lot, I felt like, and I just couldn't connect to that, so that's why I ended up giving it 2 stars. Then last book I read Disobedient Pawn by Brooklyn Cross. I gave that one 3 stars. I ended up getting that on Stuff Your Kindle, and it's a reverse harem. They're in high school. She ends up moving from Canada to the US, and she's with her father, who she cannot stand, and ends up meeting this group of guys who kind of make a bet on her to see who can get in her pants first, and it kind of just backfires on all of them, and she's not understanding like why she's there, what their families do. So she's slowly learning that this school that she is going to isn't a regular school, so she's not understanding why she's there and why she's a part of this world. Not understanding, but like she has different rules she needs to follow compared to the other kids, and it's just a lot going on that she's not understanding. She's very angry. She just lost her mother in the most brutal way, and she's obviously struggling. I enjoyed it, but I gave it 3 stars because I wish there was just a little bit more in that book, but I did start book number 2, so hopefully I get to finish it sometime in October. But those are all the books that I read in August and September, and comment down below your favorite book that you read in September. I can't even pick. I read so many good books, but I would have to say the Natural series or Legendborn. Legendborn was actually really good for YA. Both of those series are YA, so they're both really good YA books. But I will see you guys in the next video. Talk to you guys then.